Welcome to our 5-on-5. We're pleased to welcome in Blake Matray, the CEO of Dogs for the Deaf. Blake, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Nice to see you, Craig. Thanks for
All right, so our pleasure. So in case anybody doesn't know, Dogs for the Deaf, you guys do a lot of things beyond just providing dogs for the hard of hearing.
That's correct. We initially were founded to provide dogs for people that had hearing loss or were deaf, but we also produce what we call program assistance dogs, and those dogs help like pediatricians, doctors, counselors, anyone that works in a group setting or an office. And those dogs that we put out actually cater or serve a group of people as opposed to just one particular client.
Okay. And that's a growing part of
it is. It's something that we're trying to get more dogs in that category out from our organization. We like the fact that they're able to work with more than one client.
Sure.
We've placed 2 in the last year, and last year was the first time we've done more than 1 in a year. So we're excited about the program. We've gotten very good feedback from the professionals that the dogs are working for and the clients that they're serving. So if we could get that number up to 3 or 4 dogs this year, we'd be pretty happy with that.
So how large is your facility? You know, how many dogs do you work with? How many full-time staff members do you have?
Right now,
volunteers?
About 35 full-time and part-time employees together, so 35 total. And then we have about 25 volunteers that help us walk the dogs around the facility when they're not in training. And then we also have a couple office volunteers that help us out. Our facility's out by the Lower Table Rock in Central Point, and we're on 40 acres. So we've got quite a bit of room to train dogs out there.
Excellent. Very good. Got to give them room to run and stretch
those
legs.
Need some exercise.
Can't expect them to pay attention and learn.
That's right. They need some free time and downtime when they're learning. Yeah.
So where do you guys get dogs? Is it strictly from shelters, or are they donated?
No. We primarily, most of our dogs come from shelters, but we do occasionally get dogs from other assistance dog training organizations. And if a dog has not made it through their program, sometimes they'll contact us and say, "Can you work with this dog?" And most of the time we can. And if it seems like it's going to work for us, we'll take that dog and put it in a training at our program for one of our 2 programs.
Okay, very good. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more with Blake in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5-on-5. Again, we're here with Dogs for the Deaf CEO Blake Matray. Blake, thanks again for being here.
Hey, no problem.
So one of the things I thought was interesting as you and I were talking before this interview started is that the dogs go with trainers into the client, if you will, if that's the right term, the client's house.
Correct.
So it's not like they're just dropped off and good luck. They're actually living in the home. Oh, well, maybe not to that extent, but they're seeing it through.
Right. It's called placement, and it's the transition. Our trainers will accompany the dog that they trained to wherever the client's home is, and that could be anywhere in the country, all 50 states. And they'll go for anywhere from 3 to 5 days with the dog and spend time with the client at their home. If the dog's going to go into public with the client, they also go out to the bowling alley, churches, the store, hardware stores, stuff like that, and they try and get the client and the dog comfortable with each other and capable of working together as a team, and that's the placement process.
Yeah, and that's another thing about you guys. You're based right here in the Rogue Valley, as you said, by the Lower Table Rocks, but you guys place dogs everywhere.
Yes, that's correct. All 50 states over the course of our 39 years, we've placed dogs in.
That's incredible. Okay, so you guys have this large 40-acre facility. You guys use a lot of volunteers? I mean, I know you said like
we
35
do. We
staff.
get some help for the dogs with volunteers. We have a group of volunteers who are great, and they come and help walk the dogs when they're not in training with their trainer. So they're not just hanging out doing nothing when they're not being worked on one-on-one with their trainer. They get to go out with our volunteers, and we've got a asphalt walking path that makes a half-mile loop around our facility and on our grounds, and the volunteers take the dogs out twice a day walking on that path.
Okay, and you guys have a fundraiser coming up. Tell us about that.
We do. It's our 25th anniversary of our annual dog walk, and it's in Jacksonville, and it'll be on May 14th, and people can come and walk their own personal dog through the streets of Jacksonville and help support Dogs for the Deaf. So we'd love it if people came and joined us for our 25th anniversary.
Well, very nice. Okay, and it's dogsforthedeaf.org, is that right?
It is, that's correct.
All right, Blake, good to see you. Thanks so much
Nice
for
to
being
see
here.
you too.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. Our pleasure. Stay with us. We'll be right back.